Hey, what's going on, guys? The full English card list for Hunter Hunter Vol.2 is officially out, so we're going to dive into this today, starting off with the yellow set. Before anything else, though, we got something really exciting: 4 exclusive English first cards. These do not exist in the Japanese version of Union Arena. But yeah, these cards all look like really strong new additions to the decks they're going to be helping within each color. We'll dive into them in more detail in the right videos, starting off in the yellow with this one, of course. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Appreciate you watching, and let's go ahead and dive into it. But diving into the yellow set here, we're basically going to have 2 different decks, more or less, so we're going to be focusing on the Razor deck, which is based around him and his Nen Beast, introducing a lot of like board manipulation, really new, strong blocking mechanics that help you get around impact and whatnot, as well as this really awesome addition of this zero cost card, which is going to allow you to have 14 copies of this zero cost in your deck. And you're going to see, of course, why, because the whole deck is based around Razor's Nen Beast and also putting cards underneath other cards on your field to buff them and stuff. You're playing out of your sideline a lot, and it's yellow, so the color trigger is going to be great. And then you've got the Razor attack team cards, which are going to be really cool, basically trying to get Gon Killua's and Hisoka's on the board, especially on the front line, so you can do some really cool combinations like giving your Gons impact, giving them plus 2k on defense, making him a 6k. The Killua, who is a raid, like the Gon, he's also a raid. He could be rested to give your Gon cards plus 1 damage, so they're damage 2, or snipe, which is insane. And then you've also got this big 6 cost Hisoka, where if you got them all on the front line, you're able to force your opponent to trash a card if they're going to target any of the 3 names on the front line. Really cool stuff that you can get off, as you can see with this merge card, which kind of ties it all together once you've got them all on the board. But yeah, that's basically the 2 decks. We're going to start diving into these. Like I was saying, with this English exclusive brand new Killua that we got, he requires a Gon on the front line, so he's going to play well into the second deck for sure. Double energy generation and all that. But yeah, let's go ahead and start diving into it. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know what Hunter decks you guys are planning on building, especially out of the yellow set, which ones you think is going to be good. I think they're going to both be pretty strong for sure, but from what I've been seeing, I think the Nen Beast is going to surprise some people for sure. It's got a lot of pressure, but I think they're both going to be really strong. But yeah, we might as well start off with the main character, Gon, the Razor attack team deck here. So 4 cost Gon during your opponent's turn. If he's on the front line, if you have Killua and Hisoka on the same line, all on the front line, he's going to gain 2k, so making him a 6k on defense, allowing you to block a lot of stuff, safe from like snipe and whatnot. Just keep in mind, the second that Killua and or Hisoka are not on the front line, this is gone. But when attacking, this is the best part. If Killua is on the same line, this character is going to gain 1k in impact until the end of the turn. So what you're basically going to want to do is, and of course it's a raid 4k, what you're going to want to do is try to get this Killua out alongside the Gon every time, because 1, he's going to have step if you do run out of energy at any point. But the best part, active main, if he's on the front line, you can switch him to resting, this Killua. You get to choose 1 Gon on your field, and you get to give it either plus damage 1, making it a damage 2, or you can give it snipe, which I think is going to be one of the best combinations for sure, giving your Gons snipe impact, essentially turning them into like mini Kurapika raids, essentially, especially because he has a 5k during the attack. So yeah, you can definitely get some crazy plays off with that, I'm sure. You've also got the really nice looking color trigger in the deck, this 2 cost Gon. Obviously a great raid target, but on top of that, when attacking, as long as Killua is on the front line, he's going to have impact. So if you can find a way to buff him, like I believe, let's see here, like this merge card, for example, is going to buff one of your Gons just straight up. You can basically turn this guy into a pseudo version of the raid card, a 5k impact with maybe snipe or something. Impact 1, damage 2 is a really strong combination if you do find, you don't really want to go for the snipe necessarily, but I feel like getting that removal off with impact, the snipe impact, is going to be a really strong combination a lot of the time for sure. And then of course, 0 cost Gon, add to hand, a raid target that you can get from life. Now, we were already talking about the Killua raid card here. Also wanted to mention he is a 3500 BP. He's a 3 cost raid, which is awesome. But yeah, just keep in mind, there's definitely going to be situations where, yeah, you definitely are going to want to use this simply because his attacks are going to be strong enough. He'll get blocked by like a 4k or something. So he's a justifiable 35 for sure. And then diving over to the brand new English exclusive Killua that we got, 3 cost active main once per turn. You can only activate this ability if Gon is on the front line. Choose 1 character on the other line from this character, swap it with this character. If you do, this character gains 2k BP till the end of the turn. He's also got a draw trigger, making him a 4k with his effect, of course, if you do that, and double energy generation. So it's just going to be so nice having turns where he's helping you get your Hisoka played out onto the front line or your other big cost cards. He's a raid target. Maybe you do just play something rested on the front line, swap him, boom, now you've got a 4K attacker out of nowhere. This is a great addition for sure. I'm really happy that we got that, especially because that was the one thing I was looking at with this deck, is making sure we have enough, you know, reliable energy generation to play out this Hisoka. And we did for sure, but a Killua raid target with draw is just so nice. We have a 1 cost with step, 2500, no trigger, but not a bad addition at all. And then our 0 cost, when played, draw and trash a card with a draw trigger. Great addition for sure. But yeah, taking a look at Hisoka here. If on the front line, Gon, Killua, and Hisoka cards on your field gain during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot choose those characters with abilities on cards or event cards unless they place a card from their hand into their sideline as an additional cost. And this effect does not stack, so you pretty much just want one of these on the front line. Also, he's a 4500 BP with the active trigger, so he's got a lot going for him. It's just a matter of getting the energy generation to play him out, which should not be an issue at this point. But yeah, basically forcing your opponents to, making it a little bit harder to remove the cards on your front line, which is going to be awesome. And then we've got this 5 cost, 2 action point Hisoka. Once per turn, when a character on your field attacks and loses a battle, you can actually switch this character to active with a draw trigger, 4K BP. This card's going to be pretty nice, especially if he comes out active, gets his attack off, and then you have a card that's attacking that your opponent has the option to block. I mean, they might as well. This is kind of tomato-tomato at that point. They can either take the life and not restand this guy, or they can block the character and then restand Hisoka. So honestly, I can see this card coming in clutch for sure, especially because it's a Hisoka, so the more of him, the better. Maybe just like a 2 of because of the 2 action points, but he could be clutch. And then 3 cost, 1 action point Hisoka. This is going to be another double energy generator you definitely want to include, I'd say. If you have Gon and Killua on your field, he's going to be a 4K, which is great. So yeah, I mean, with the addition of Killua, we've got a lot of double energy generation to help get this guy out for sure. But yeah, with those main cards, it's going to be really, really cool to see the defensive potential that we have once we have all 3 of them on the board for sure. And then we've got this merge card here. Once you do have all 3 characters on the board, I think this card is going to be super, super strong. And what's really nice is you don't have to have them all on the same line. You just need them on the same field. Keep that in mind. There are some differences in some of these cards where they need to be on the same line or just on the field, period. So with Merge, 3 cost, an event card. If Gon's on the field, you get to choose a character and give it 2K. You probably want to give it to Gon, but who knows who you can buff, maybe even your Killua. If Killua's on the field, you get to draw a card. And then if Hisoka's on the field, this is a free play. You get to choose one of your action points and set it to active. So, yeah, essentially, I'm sure you want to try to wait to play this until you have all 3 of the characters somewhere on the field. But if you do, and you play this, it's a really strong free play, no doubt. With an active trigger as well. I don't know if it's a 4 of, just because, you know, too many events leads to issues, but having like 2 or 3 of these floating around, playing them at the right time, oh man, the pressure could be so strong for sure. While we're at the event cards, might as well look at the special wallets right here. 5 cost, the win must be flawless, right? Bungee gum. Choose one character with 5K or less BP on your opponent's front line and switch it to resting. If you have 3 or more Razor's attack team characters on your field, sideline it. So that's essentially the sideline requirement. And if Hisoka is on your front line, your opponents, when blocking and nullify impact abilities, do not activate this turn. So just a nice little splash in of a flawless win, right? If you have Hisoka. So it's pretty cool. It's not a Hisoka dependent special like I was almost expecting to see when I first saw it, but it's just got a splash of Hisoka if you have him on the field. So really nice special trigger to have. Keep in mind it's also a 5 cost, so that's where you're going to need these double energy generators, no question. But, I mean, since you're running the 6 cost Hisoka, I think that goes without saying. And then speaking of double energy generation, we do have this Bisky that I'm sure was a must run, but I'm sure might be cut down to like a 3 or a 2 of now that we have the Killua. Either way, it's a 3 cost double energy generating card, so great addition. It's also a when played draw. And then active main, you can actually switch this card to resting and sideline it and then draw a card. Keep in mind the switch to resting is just so that you can't do that the turn you play her. Either way, yeah, you get basically 2 draws out of this card essentially, especially because now we have replacements on the board. If we get this card early, it wouldn't be a terrible way to get rid of her, get a draw out of her. Pretty nice with the draw trigger as well. Not a bad card at all. And then 2 cost Bisky here with step, 3K BP and active trigger for defense. Not a bad card, not a bad card. Not a requirement though, especially because we're trying to get these other cards in here for raids, right? And then we have the 0 cost Bisky. Up to you if you want to run it. Definitely not a bad addition. Active trigger and 2K BP. And then we've got this really cool event card that you can put into either deck here, Back. It's a 1-cost revive card, essentially. You cannot use this card if you have Back in your sideline. If this card would be placed into your sideline besides using it from your hand, actually using the ability, place it into removal instead. So essentially what that text is saying, yeah, if you've already played one this turn, you can't play this card again, unless you find a way to remove it somehow otherwise. But yeah, it's a really cool way to restrict just using 1 card per game, essentially, while allowing you to run multiple of them in the deck. So yeah, you can only use 1 per game, essentially, unless a card's in here that removes events or stuff from your sideline, which I don't think exists. We'll touch on it later if I'm wrong, if I missed it. But the actual effect here, if you do play it, play up to 1 Razor Attack Team Affinity or Razor card with the fulfilled required energy and 1 action point from your sideline set to resting on your field, or raid with it. And it's an add-to-hand trigger, so yeah, great way to play out of your sideline, especially if, you know, you're just trying to get 1 more of those raid cards out of the sideline and get a free raid out of this or something. Could be a great addition to the deck, and it's only a 1 cost, so I mean, you're definitely not stressing running it. And yeah, I just love the fact that, like, you can only play 1 per game, but if you are trashing it from your hand, it goes to your removal, so it's not taken away from actually playing 1 later. Really cool to see. And then before we dive into the Razor deck, we do have some other cards you might be able to splash in here, or into either deck, whatever you want to try to do. But I think they might be intended mostly for the Gon and Killua deck. Anyways, we have the Goreinu cards. So we have 1-cost Goreinu. I think that's how you say his name. I haven't watched the anime in a bit. When played, look at the top 3 cards, reveal up to 1 Razor Attack Team Affinity, add it to your hand, place the remaining card on the bottom of your deck. If you did add a card to your hand, trash a card. So yeah, a really good Razor Attack Team search card for sure. Then we have this really unique card here, 4-cost 2 action point Goreinu. When played, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 white Goreinu and up to 1 black Goreinu, the gorillas, and add them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck, and then you also get to play up to 1 of each from your hand set to resting on the field. So that could be really strong with the add to hand trigger, 4k BP. He's a 2 action point, 3 body card. Honestly, I could see this popping off for sure. Again, they obviously don't have their own dedicated deck, but I could see them splashed in here and really pressuring your opponents. So yeah, you have 1 of each of the cards. So you have the 2-cost Black Goreinu. When played, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line. Your opponent moves that character to their energy line or swaps it with a character on their energy line. Not really great for messing with their energy line too much, but definitely great for getting a free attack off, removing a blocker. And then you get a draw trigger with it, 2k BP. Then you've also got the 1-cost white Goreinu if on the energy line. If a Goreinu with 500 or more BP on your front line would be sidelined, you may sideline this character instead. If you do, move that Goreinu to your energy line. So essentially what this is saying is, as long as they aren't being reduced to 0 and getting sidelined, he can essentially be the target for getting sidelined instead. So yeah, you play out that 4k 2 action point, and if you can get them both on the field with that effect, you've got a pretty strong, like, this one guy and his 2 gorillas putting in some work for sure. Really cool net ability too. I love the Greed Island arc. Anyways, active trigger, 2k BP. They aren't the strongest for attacking, but man, are they really cool abilities, especially if you're playing them as 100% free play cards. Now keep in mind, I feel like the best way to get the value out of this would be to run 4 ofs of each probably, or maybe like 2 or 3 of him and 4 of the gorillas, just to guarantee you're trying to play them all. Either way, just keep in mind, if you are going for this package here, you're taking out like 9 to 12 cards, I'd say, depending on the build you want to go with. Again, could be worth the risk, could get away with less of them potentially, but either way, I think they could be a nice little splash for sure. But yeah, that is essentially the Razor attack team, the Gon Killua deck. Now let's go ahead and dive into the brand new Razor deck that we've got. This really dope deck, completely based around Razor and his Nen Beasts. I think it's going to have a lot of potential and really surprise some people. So we've got the 5-cost raid of the deck. Nullify impact when played. Choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line with BP equal to or less than 1,000 multiplied by the combined total of Nen Beast affinity cards and face down card characters on your front line and sideline it. 4k BP, active trigger, so you can actually raid them out of life and maybe even get the removal on your turn potentially, or get a nullify impact out of life and save the game or something. If you raid them out of life, that'd be crazy. But yeah, essentially that's what the deck is doing. Is you've got these Nen Beasts here. Number 13, number 0 are the unique ones, but you've also got this really cool card here that helps the deck flow. The 0 cost Razor's Nen Beasts, and you can have 14 of the 0 cost in your deck. During your turn, this character gains 1k for each face down card under it, and when sidelined, you can actually place this card face down under another Nen Beast on your field. And as you'll see, all the Nen Beasts are getting their own effects by having cards underneath them. With the add to hand trigger, 1500 plus, obviously. Yeah, this card it is so cool, dude. And just in general, having 14 0 costs that are all like what you want them to be with add to hand triggers. That's going to be crazy with board rushing for sure. We've also got this number 0 card here. During your turn, this character gains 1k BP for each face down card underneath it, so you can get him up to like a 45 pretty easily, I'd say. But he's also a nice search, so when played, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal any Nen Beast or Dodgeball Court, which we'll get to. It's a field card. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck, and then if you took a card, trash a card. And then he's a 2500 plus with the active trigger. Now, I did want to say from the playtesting I've seen and whatnot, the only annoying thing about this guy is he does not grab razors. So anytime you search specials, finals, which we always hate, but on top of that, every razor card in the deck is getting bottom decked by this guy. So just keep that in mind. I could definitely see this guy being like a 2 or a 3 of just for that reason. It sucks bottom decking your raids or your other razor cards, which you'll see are really good. The other Nen Beast card here, number 13. This is my favorite dude. I think this guy's a beast. He's going to be so good for pressure. So he's a 3-cost double energy generator. During your turn, he's going to gain 1k BP for each card face down underneath it. So you just need one Nen Beast, and he's a 4k. Push him up later, boom, 4k attacker. And then when played, you can actually place one Nen Beast card from your sideline face down underneath him. So you don't even need to rely on any effects. The second you play him out, as long as you've got one card in your sideline to put underneath him, he's a 4k ready to go. The next turn, of course, obviously, because he's going to be rested. But either way, really cool card, number 13. We'll finish off looking at the razors, and then we'll get to the Dodgeball Court, which ties the whole thing together. So 4-cost, 2 action point razor. This will be the color trigger for this deck here. When blocking, if your opponent's attacking character has impact, this character gains 2k BP until the end of the turn. So he's not going to be a 6k the second their attack phase starts, but the second they try to go for impact, this guy's an instant block, dude. I love the, like, I'm not really big into volleyball, but I could totally see, like, the gameplay from the anime from these cards. This guy's doing a block. You've got Gon going for a spike or something with this snipe, dude, or just them charging up the ball and stuff. Like, man, it's so cool how they've put the abilities into this from the anime. But yeah, one of the best blockers in the game, I would say, Razor, because there's not many 6k impacts to worry about a lot, but 5k and below impact is pretty consistent, especially for game enders. So you've got some really nice impact protection in this whole deck with multiple cards. But on top of that, you've also got a when played, you can sideline one Nen Beast card on your field, and if you do, you can choose one character on your opponent's front line, switch it to resting, and it'll remain set to resting. The next time it would be switched to active, and you get to choose one of your action points to switch it to active. So this guy's not even a 2 action point. Surprise. Crazy, dude. So yeah, you can sideline one of your Nen Beasts, which if you did, sideline this guy who wants to be sidelined to buff one of your other Nen Beasts. You get to also not just rest, but sticky rest one of your opponent's cards, and then make him a 1 action point. This guy's a monster. 4k BP. Fantastic. Yeah, this is a color trigger right here. This is a monster card. This guy's awesome. So fantastic addition to the deck for sure. He's going to be putting on pressure. And then we've got another Razor here, 3-cost, 1 action point. He's going to have Nullify Impact. So all your Razors are just, sorry, you are not ending the game with impact. Nice try, buddy. Catching your impact in his hands. Active main, if on the front line once per turn, you can sideline a Nen Beast card on your field. And if you do, you can draw a card and give this card 1000 BP till the end of the turn, making him a 4500. So it's really cool. The Razor's sidelining his own Nen Beast. And getting the buffs, dude. So sick, man. So sick. No trigger, but that's totally justified. And then we have a 1-cost Razor. During your turn, if you have a combined total of 2 or more Nen Beast affinity cards and face down cards on your field, this character gains 1k, making him a 3k. He's also got the add to hand trigger, since our zeros are all the Nen Beasts, essentially. There's no 0 Razors. This will be our replacement for like a 0 nearly. But yeah, the Razor deck is It's going to be so cool to see in action. I'm excited to build it and play it more. And then the field card, the Dodgeball Court, 2-cost field card. This card is going to be so nice. So you play this site set to active. Active main, switch to resting. You can place one Nen Beast affinity card from your sideline face down underneath another Nen Beast on your field. And the best one, active main, once per turn, you have to trash a card and pay an action point, but you get to play one of your Nen Beasts from your sideline set to resting on your field. Wish it was a set to active, but either way, it doesn't matter. You're getting to play out of your sideline with the Dodgeball Court. With the add to hand trigger, I did find myself going to like 2 or 3 of this because I'm sure it's going to be a great card to always have on the field, especially because you get those extra buffs, and if you're like 1 card short for those effects where you want to have cards on your front line and whatnot, face down, underneath, etc. Yeah, I can see this card coming in clutch for sure, but you definitely want to get your Nen Beast set up initially, no question, because this card plays 100% out of the sideline, obviously. But yeah, really, really cool field card. You're playing out of your sideline, you're resting stuff. Great looking deck. And then we have this really strong Search event card for the Razor deck, 3-cost Razor and his 14 Devils. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 2 Razor or Nen Beast cards among them, add it to your hand, and then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. No trash required with an active trigger, so great an event card. Again, this card is way better Searcher than the card that's going to skip over your Razors, so I would definitely recommend running like at least like 3 of this card or something. Great addition to the deck. Oh, and if we didn't mention it, Bisky's Meal is going to be your final for both decks. Enjoy Bisky's Meal, your AP restander. And then the special for the Razor deck, nothing bad, nothing special. The generic, choose a character with 3k or less on your opponent's front line, sideline it, but if you have Razor on your field, you can actually choose a 5k instead. Great special card, just nothing new. But yeah, that is essentially all of the cards in the Razor deck, the Nen Beast deck. You got some other additions here that are definitely optional, but as far as the core cards, those are going to be it. And as you can see how it's going to work, it's going to be a strong deck with board pressure, with consistency, playing out a sideline, removal, board locking. I'm hoping it's going to play out the way I think it's going to. Some other cards you actually might want to include in the Razor deck, because with the 5 cost, you do need some extra double energy generation, I feel like. Totally up to you, but we've got List, which is going to be our generic 1 cost. When played, bounce back a 1 cost or this character, but he's a double energy generator, which is great. And then we have 2-cost Dwoon. These are the Greed Island creators, I believe. This character is going to be double energy generating when he's set to active. So great 2-cost. Again, just because with the 5 and this being the only double energy generator in the Nen Beast deck, I could see one of these two coming in clutch. Then we have 0-cost Kazul. I don't think this was one of the creators. These guys aren't. This is going to be our 0-cost active main, switch to resting. Once per turn, he's going to be generating double energy, but then you have to sideline him during your main phase or at the end of your main phase. Not a terrible card, but I definitely like these double energy generators a lot more. Removing a card from your board forever just for that one-time double energy generation, you got to be desperate, like in the Red Titan deck. And then 3-cost Abangen. I'm so sorry. It's been a bit. I don't even remember them saying his name, but I remember him. When played, choose one of the following. Your opponent places 2 cards from their sideline into their removal. Okay. Brothers, yellow Full Metal Alchemist Brothers counter. Choose 1 site with 1 or less energy generation on your opponent's front line and sideline it. If you do, your opponent draws. I feel like there's better site removal, or I don't even know if that site removal is worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're removing your opponent's sites, they're going to be very upset. Not a terrible card, but no trigger. Totally up to you if you want to try to run that. Tezgura, 4 cost, 1 action point. When played, all characters on your field gain 500 BP till the end of the turn. Active main, 1 action point once per turn. All characters on your field gain 500 till the end of the turn. So he's not a terrible card for buffing your characters, especially for like the Goreinus. Could be pretty fire, honestly. 1k buffer off rip, but you're paying a whole action point. I don't know. He's a 4k though, so that does kind of justify it. I don't know where you're gonna want to run him, but he's Razor attack team, so he's at least got the affinity for like the searches, I guess, in the special. And then we got a 2-cost. When played, choose 1 of character on your field. It gains 1k till the end of the turn. 3k BP with no trigger. Honestly, not a terrible card. But again, with like raids and we want specified names and stuff, I just don't know if there's going to be room for this guy. I can see trying to squeeze these guys in, but Anyways, if you do end up putting in your Tezguras, we have this event card that you might want to run as well. 2-cost Vertical Jump. Choose one character on your field and return it to your hand. Choose one of your action points and switch it to active. If the character you returned to your hand was Tezgura, draw a card. With the draw trigger, I mean, I guess I was really focused on the other decks, so I didn't really try to squeeze him in and see what his potential could be. But hey, if there is something that I'm missing, let me know. Let me know. I mean, free... You could just get free 1k buffs off, I guess. Is it free, though? Because you pay one, return, pay one, return. I don't know. I don't know what you want. I don't know what the intention is for this guy, but you might be able to do something with him. Surprise me. I'm curious. 4k BP at the end of the day is definitely worth trying to squeeze in with the active trigger. This guy's a lot more valuable than him, in my opinion. But yeah, might be surprised. Anyways, that is the full yellow Hunter x Hunter English set. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you're most excited to build or what you think is going to stand out from this, or if you think they're all going to suck. For my playtesting, I think they're going to be pretty amazing, and this was all before I knew what this Killua was going to be. This Killua, again, does not exist in Japan, never existed in Japan. I wonder when Japan's going to get him. But either way, I think he's going to just change the deck completely. He's just literally everything the deck was kind of missing. An extra Killua raid target potentially, help with the Hisoka. Do we have 3 going straight on top of? Not gonna lie, the only thing the yellow deck is missing is just one more Gon raid target. It does suck that we have 8 total Gons, and this one, like, you don't even want to raid on top of necessarily, but keep in mind we also have this back card, which allows us to play 1 extra card from our sideline at some point. But yeah, that's essentially it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!